The Last Jedi. This is the one that polarized the whole community.
This is going to be the one where you and I are going to have an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Now, me personally, I think you know, but me personally, this is my favorite Star Wars film ever. Closely followed by Rise of Skywalker, and then maybe, I don't know, something else. But, as a Star Wars film, I think most of them are all tied, but as an actual film, I think this is where I love Last Jedi most. Not only because it, destroyed people's expectations, but I think it did so in a correct way, where it really is, I think in most cases, a love letter to the fans, And haters aside, I think that there's a lot of good in this film. There's probably a few negatives.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think that, like, Phasma's death, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have an issue with it, because, I think with the canon comic books and The Force Awakens and the Lego game, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens actually has a mission that's canon to the thing, So I think we've seen enough of her. So for when she died, I'm like, please don't be in Episode 9, because that would just make it awkward,
Oh, no. I questioned something. I kept thinking I heard her voice in Episode 9. Coming from a normal stormtrooper. I'm not sure. I would have to go see it again. Which, no complaints there. But I could have sworn I heard her voice at least once. Which would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Oh, yeah. Where's Captain Phasma? Oh, you mean Private Phasma.
Yeah, right. But the one in the dude suit that got shot,
Uh-huh. The only issue I have with the Phasma's death is they had a better death scene from the deleted scenes.
Yes, okay, I'll admit that, yeah.
Because I thought that scene created a perfect tension, seeing the stormtroopers looking left and right, looking at her, and you can get the sense that she is afraid and realizing, oh dear God.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah, so then she just kind of like Western, stormtrooper, kills them all down really fast. But I think the scene we eventually got in the film was good, but again, I think that tension thing you mentioned would have been a little better. But
oh, yeah. Because then you just get shot off, gone. It's a little bit better of a send-off. Now, I know... Why don't we get into the big issues that everyone has with Episode 8? We'll start with Luke just throwing the lightsaber over the side.
All right.
So, go... You first.
All right. So, I think, again, me personally, haters aside, and I know you're a true fan, but when Luke throws that, I do think that, me personally, that was the best thing that he could have done, because a lot of people think that Luke is a god, and I think that's part in saying to nostalgia. But Luke in Episode 4, he's very immature. He's like a kid. Mm-hmm. Episode 5 Empire, he's very reckless. He gives up too easily. And then Episode 6, he's very enraged. He almost killed his dad. So for him to throw that away, in my opinion, is great, because he's looking at Rey like, why would I want this thing? Every time I pick a lightsaber up, nine times out of 10, it screws me over,
Mm-hmm.
And then we know what happens with it. But that scene where he throws it over, and then in Rise of Skywalker, again, spoilers, when Rey's about to throw in the TIE Fighter, and he catches it, and he says, is that a way to treat a Jedi's weapon? That really wasn't a big F-U to Rian Johnson. It was a big, good job, Rian Johnson, because, it's a great character moment. Because, in the beginning, he throws it over, I don't want it. And then after Yoda talks to him and he dies peacefully, knowing everything's going to be great,
mm-hmm.
There's a new generation, he catches it and he's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Kind of snarkily, commenting on that. But, again, I think when Luke tries to kill his nephew, I think that he would do that. And again, a lot of people think that he, actually went to kill him. And then he immediately regretted it. But that one split second was too much for Ben to take,
Yeah.
And that's why he's on the planet, because he feels responsible. So, me personally, I think that it was the best way. It was a very grounded and realistic way to treat a childhood hero. Because, again, characters are good when they are flawed. If you have a character that makes no mistakes, they're only half characters.
Yeah, then there's no way for character development or anything. Then it's just, there's no story. But
mm-hmm.
No, when I'm watching that scene of him just throwing the lightsaber over, I was like, initially I saw it and went, why? I laughed, but I went, why?
Yeah, I laughed too, yeah.
And then eventually it dawned on me after seeing the scene of him about to, quote-unquote, about to attack Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, either one. And going, okay, he's racked with guilt. He sees this lightsaber and he knows the history of this lightsaber. This is the lightsaber that his father murdered younglings, murdered countless Jedi. The same lightsaber that he fought his own father with. This weapon is just a memory of every horrible thing that has ever happened because, not just of him, but because of the Skywalker bloodline.
Right. And that's why he even tells Rey, he's like, I did the best thing and I became a legend, and that legend, and I don't care who you are, if you have a big legend, that takes a toll on you mentally, Everyone in the galaxies, everyone's looking up for Luke to come and stop the First Order. And he has his own issues that are very realistic, but not to Rey, and that's why she keeps bugging him and pissing him off. He's like, go away, So in the end, I think one of the best scenes in the movie is Ghost Yoda, which, I love how they got a puppet for that instead of relying on CGI.
Oh no, I love the fact they went back to the puppet, and that they actually brought back some of the original puppeteers to do that work. Just seeing him hit Luke in the head with the stick was more than enough to have me.
Yeah, that was great. But the whole message of really the whole, even Canto Bight on the planet Cantonica, even seeing Finn and Rose trying to get this code breaker, everyone thinks that scene means nothing, but it actually means everything, because the whole theme of the film is failure is the greatest teacher. Luke learns from that, Finn and Rose learn from that, because realistically, if Finn and Rose didn't park their shuttle on the beach, they probably wouldn't have gotten tased, and they would have gotten Justin Theroux, that guy, to help them. So really, because they were rushing, they screwed themselves over.
Yeah. I was going to say, now that we brought up the Canto Bight scene, I think I know what the big issue is with the Canto Bight scene. It suffers from the same fate of the scenes on Naboo from Episode 2. You go from this fast-paced, awesome, in-your-face action to something really slow, really laid back. Not necessarily as heavy on the CGI, but just enough CGI where it's like, okay, I want to get back to the action. So it's not necessarily a hate for the characters, but it's also a hate for the, okay, stop taking me away from the awesome parts. I want to see the awesome parts.
Right, yeah, and I think you're trying to say the pacing had a bit of an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be like fast, jump like 10 steps back, and it would pretty much give people, I would almost argue, whiplash, where they're going,
right.
What happened? Why am I back on this place? This is boring. And that eventually leads to, it's boring, therefore it can't it's bad, and it can't be Finn's fault because we like Finn, so it comes down to Rose.
Yeah. Transition into the character of Rose Tico. Again, this is just me, but I think that she is a great character. I don't really get why people say she's whiny, obnoxious. You get the people that hate and just call her the Asian bitch that ruins everything, and that's just wrong. Not only to treat Kelly Marie Tran as an actress, but also as the character, because she really, a lot of people don't. I think you understand this, but again, we know what's up. But with regards to Rose is a character that's there to help Finn's character, just as Snoke is there to help Kylo Ren's character, because the first thing that Finn says in The Last Jedi is, Rey, where's Rey?
Yeah.
So he's basically a whiner. Finn is a whiner. He's a big runner. If I'm going to put my big boy pants on, it's to help Rey.
Yeah.
And then Rose tells him, hey, look, there's more to life than just Rey. We have a galaxy to save, and you can't just abandon it, And then on the opposite side, we have DJ, a.k.a. Don't Join. Rose is telling Finn, fight, and then DJ's telling Finn, good and evil is just one neutral thing, don't join. And I think that was cool.
No, I definitely love the scene where he goes, the Empire, the Resistance, they're all benefiting off the war.
Yeah. Of course, like I said, everyone in the world's going to take this as, rich people are jerks. But in the terms of the plot of the film, that's not the case. They're just trying to prove a point that people that profiteer war are ultra rich. And I love when Rose says, she said something like, I want to smash my fist through this lousy, beautiful town, I think that's a great line.
Oh, no. I love the line. Now, with Rose, it's weird. There's some characters that I won't like for weird reasons. Like, if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, for the weirdest reasons, I didn't like Gollum Smeagol for, I want to say, at least 5 years. I don't know why. I just didn't like him. And with Rose... Ooh, that was good. Oh man, that was good.
I guess that's just another voice I can do. I guess I had to do it because you brought him up.
Oh, I know. But with Rose, it's weird. The biggest issue with Rose was at the time, I knew someone who was very similar to Rose personally, so that person I wasn't very fond of. So because of that, every time I saw Rose, it was a reminder of this person. So it was like I don't like Rose. Oh, you don't like her because she's no. Mm-hmm. It has everything to do with my own personal reasons, nothing to do with the actress. I even went as far as, okay, what has the actress done? Oh, I don't know why. She's doing great in this movie, but I don't know why. I just can't like her in Last Jedi. And I was not very fond of when everyone just started going after the actress and going, we hate you, get off the internet. I mean, people need to learn, hey, this is the character, this is the actor, they're two different people, unless proven otherwise.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, if you have a personal, like a real reason to dislike Rose, like you do, that's fine. Yeah. But like I said, for people that hate her because she's Chinese, whatever, her Asian, whatever.
Asian,
you know, or just, honestly, I think she had good lines, she served a purpose in the film. If anything, she got downgraded in Rise of Skywalker, but I don't have a big issue with that because who is Rose? She's not a fighter. She's a technician. So it makes sense in Episode 9 for her to stay back with Leia and kind of watch over the Dakar Part 2.
Yeah,
and she fights in the end, so it's all worth it. Yeah,
it wasn't like it wasn't as bad as what they did with Jar Jar. It was like Episode 1, he's up in your face. Episode 2, he's kind of there, and then Episode 3, oh look, here's the background character.
Yeah, right. And see, this is going to sound weird too, but I think Jar Jar is a good character only because in Episode 1, he served his purpose, which was to be comedic. And then Episode 2, he was just, whatever. And then if you watch it, 1, 2, Clone Wars movie, Clone Wars show, and then 3, you get a lot of, there are literal episodes of like Mace Windu and Jar Jar Binks teaming up, and they go to Dathomir to stop Mother Talzin. So by the time I watched all that for 9, I really had a bigger appreciation for Jar Jar. He wasn't just the idiot character for 3-year-olds. He was the character that was funny, but he had a little bit of character development in there as well.
I was going to say, that was the only reason I didn't like him in Episode 1 after watching the Clone Wars was you play him off in Episode 1 as this big, bumbling idiot when he has the potential to be so much more. When they got to Clone Wars and did, like the episode you mentioned, the Mother Talzin episode, granted, he's still clumsy, but he actually has it that he has a brain, he's smart, he has compassion, he actually fights.
He even has a love interest in that show.
Exactly.
Some girl Gungan. So I think it's cool. But again, okay, one more thing I want to mention or two more things on Last Jedi real fast are Poe Dameron's character growth. I think because of Force Awakens, Poe was such a flyboy, shoot everything and then ask questions. I think Ryan did a good job of making Poe think, and look, you effed up, you killed a bunch of, you got the Dreadnought, but you destroyed a lot of people. So by the end of The Last Jedi, he goes from a man who's just, blow things up to, okay, wait a minute, on the Battle of Crate, he's like, no, we gotta turn back, we're all gonna die. He smartens up, and he becomes sort of a resistance general,
I was gonna say, even going into Episode 9 with this character development, he's hit the point of, okay, we have to complete the mission so that everyone survives, not... Or even he'll put himself in the line of fire because he doesn't want anyone else to get hurt.
Right. Well, and even when, again, huge spoilers for people watching, but with regards to Leia's, I would say half-death, when she's still a person under the heart, Poe even goes to her corpse and is like, hey, I don't know what to do, I mean, I have an idea, but, even goes to Lando, he's like, how'd you do it? And Lando's like, look, we just had each other, we were buddies, and, that's how we got this stuff done. And that's how Poe realizes in the end, he's like, look, we just got to band together and do this. It's a great thing, to see a character not have any growth in one movie and then completely change in the other two for the better.
It's also amazing to see a character finally look at people and go, I don't know what to do. Where do I go from here?
Like Luke, like I said, if you have a character that makes mistakes, you have a good character.
Yeah. Which Luke, oh boy, did he make a lot of mistakes over the years.
Yeah. But I think he atoned for him. I think he had the best death in the entire Skywalker saga. because Obi-Wan kind of died in A New Hope, just kind of poof, you know. Yoda died in his bed, which is pretty peaceful.
Yeah.
But Luke died with the twin sons, again, knowing that there was a new generation and that he did everything he could. And even the Force Ghost in Episode 9, when he tells Rey, hey, he lifts the X-Wing up.
Which pretty much, I want to say that was almost a reference and a way of saying he's now become the equivalent of Yoda. He's at peace. He has all the wisdom he needs.
Yeah, I would say that too, yeah. Because I think a lot of people don't realize this, but the Battle of Crate with Luke, the only reason for Luke to physically be there on Crate was to not physically be there on Crate. Because through that Force projection, not only is that the most powerful thing we've seen a Jedi do in canon, to my extent, to what I know, because Kylo Ren was so mad, he didn't notice he wasn't there, and that was stalling him. So, for Luke in The Last Jedi, if Luke were to get in his X-Wing and pilot, realistically, he wouldn't make it there in time, But in The Rise of Skywalker, Rey has a little bit more time, so that's why she gets in the X-Wing. So, I just love how The Rise of Skywalker brings The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi to new heights of awesome,
I was going to say, another thing with Luke Force projecting, I also feel like the reason why he dies immediately after that, one, using the Force, two, I feel like that was the one thing tying him to the world was he needed to finally get that off his chest and look at Ben and pretty much say, I failed you. To finally,
it's even...
to finally let go of that guilt
sure.
and just, at the end, take that last breath and disappear. I still question why the hand disappears with them, though.
Why does what? I'm sorry?
Why does his metal hand disappear with them?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. Movie magic. That's what I was wondering, because I was watching Episode 5, and I'm like, oh, his metal hand is skin. How does it turn metal? And I think the reason is because the hut that he, attacks Kylo Ren in, that burns down, and I think that maybe just the skin wasn't good. That's kind of just like a thing you don't really need answered, but you kind of wonder, how did that happen? I just think it was over time. And being on that Octo planet, Octo, whatever, it's not like he had a salon for Jedi, a salon. So he couldn't take care of it. So, I think it was cool. But again, I think one of the best shots of Last Jedi in the end is the little slave boy raising his broom
with
like
the
a
ring.
lightsaber. Yeah. You see how he even used the Force to grab the broom?